Someone asked me recently, what's the number one thing that separates the top moving company owners from everybody else? And my answer was mindset, right? They think differently about their business, their role in the business, how it impacts their life, and how to bring all of that together. Look, we've all got access to the same lead sources, some of the same information. If you're coming to Moving Mastery Summit, which is October 18th through the 20th, I'm going to lay out all the strategies, all the processes, but I also want to give you the mindset of what the top 1% use and how they think in order to achieve amazing results. Because look, everything comes down to perspective, right? We could look at our business and we could be like, oh, it's so hard. The movers, they don't want to work, right? They don't show up. I interview, 50 people and then, I hire 5 and only 1 shows up. And the one that shows up, he doesn't, you know the deal. I've been there, right? I've experienced the same thing. The difference is perspective, right? The top 1% have experienced the same thing. The difference is how they deal with it, right? With every circumstance that happens, we have an opportunity to do one of 2 things: accept it or take action. That's it, right? If we're spending all our energy complaining about we can't find movers, there's not enough leads, this is such a hard business, my market is overly saturated and the competition's too heavy and everybody charges not enough money, we're not focused on the things that we can do to take control of our situation and build a business that thrives regardless of what's going on around you in the economy, with your competition, and anything else. And if I'm coming at you a little hard today, it's because, I need your attention, right? If you're in the moving business and you want to succeed, you've got to look at it a different way. And I want to share with you some of the 5 things that I've established over time that, talking to the top 1% of companies, of the fastest growing, most successful moving companies, and what they all share with my mindset, right? I'm like, I know how I think about things, but let me see how they think about things, and let's see what we all share. By the way, I'm going to be live for 3 days at Moving Mastery Summit, where I'm going to have the top 1% of moving companies there sharing and, showing you what they do to absolutely be crushing it in the market right now and moving forward. So make sure, if you haven't got your ticket yet, it's October 18th through the 20th. Click on the link below, get signed up. Do not miss this. I'm telling you, it's going to be transformational for your business. So let's talk about some of the traits they share, some of the things that they say that give them the results they want. And the first one is, I am responsible for my results. I am responsible for my results. Right? I know that might seem obvious, but what's the self-talk that's going on in your mind? Is it blame? Are we blaming the economy? Are we blaming the movers that didn't show up? Are we blaming the shitty leads? Or are we saying, you know what, I'm responsible for my results? And once we accept that, right? Once we take full responsibility for that employee that's not doing what they're supposed to do, right? For, the fact that we signed the lease on a building and realized after there was nowhere to park the trucks, like whatever it might be. Once we take full responsibility and then look at it and go, okay, I'm either going to accept, and I made the bed, I'm going to sleep in it, or I'm going to take action to make things better, everything starts to change, right? You can't be a victim and be in business. No. If you want to work for somebody and complain about the man and the boss and, how bad you've got it, then, that's a different route. But if you're going to be in business, I got news for you. Nobody's coming to save you. The government's not coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. You've got to be responsible for your own results. You've got to be able to take action. And that's something that all the top 1%, they agree with that and they live by that. The second one is, if they can, I can. Meaning, if you see a company in your market that's absolutely crushing it, the top 1% believe, hey, you know what? If they could do it, I could do it. If Lewis could get to $20 million a year in business, I could get to $20 million a year or beyond. My goal and my mission is to help you fulfill your goal and your mission. And if that's $100 million a year, let's go. Let's do it, right? But if your goal is like, Lewis, I just want to have a successful whatever the revenue is, but it brings me the income that I want, and it runs smooth, right? It runs efficiently so that I could go on vacation like that person that I know that seems to be living the ultimate lifestyle. Well, guess what? If they can, you can, right? If I can, you can. I've got clients that are like, hey, Louis, I want to move to Italy with my family and still keep my moving company running in the US. Can we do it? Absolutely. If they can, you can, right? She's done it. I've got several other clients that have done it as well, right? So think about that. Think about whatever you see out there, do not have the self-doubt. The self-doubt comes from constantly hitting a wall, because there's the hard way to do things and there's the easier way to do things, right? And after so long of just hitting the wall, and it's not your fault if this is you, right? That was me. I was hitting the wall for so long at the beginning until I started to figure it out and understand the rules of the game and how this moving business actually works. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is the way, right? Which brings me to my next point, which is they believe there's got to be a better way, right? There's got to be a better way. That saying right there, that I could give so much credit to that for my success and what I've been able to do with my moving companies and in my life. When I was in that truck rental yard, just scrambling, guys weren't showing up, jobs were canceling, I couldn't get equipment, and just struggling with all the stuff that I'm sure at some point, even if you're not today, you struggled with. I'd say, you know what, there's gotta be a better way. I kept this little black book in my pocket. And, I would write down, and, you didn't have cell phones. Now I do the same thing, but I write it in my phone. But I'd keep this little black book in my pocket, and I'd take it out, and everything that I ran into an issue with, I'd write down what the issue was, right? And then later on, I would go look for the solution, whether it was talking to, other people that I saw that had successful businesses, whether it was looking for it in a book. Like, early on, it was a different time. Like, I wasn't searching Google in the year 2000, right? The internet was around, but it wasn't like it is today. But it was always to search for the better way. Not looking at it going, oh, this is hard. This is the way it is. The movers are never going to show up. The customers are always complaining. They only care about the price. No. Why? Because I saw other people doing it, right? I saw other companies crushing it, making a fortune. I said, you know what? If they could do it, I could do it. There's got to be a better way, right? So you've got to be looking at things as, how can I find that better way? And that's the whole premise of Moving Mastery Summit is, let me show you the better way, right? If you feel like you've been pounding your head against the wall, right? Maybe, you're taking 2 steps forward, but 1 step back, and you're just not making the progress that you thought. You look in the mirror and you just aren't as far along as you thought you'd be. Come and join me for 3 days. It's less than 1% of your year. I promise you, will transform your business, which will then result in transforming your life. All right, there's a link somewhere down below. Get signed up. We're less than 30 days away. Moving season's over. We're almost sold out. Do not miss this. There's not another chance till next year. All right. The fourth thing that the top 1% of moving company owners have as a mindset is, moving is my vehicle to financial freedom, right? Moving is my vehicle to financial freedom. Look, I know people in the industry. I've felt that way before too, where I'm like, I don't want to do this. I want to get into a different business, an easier business. This is hard. Why deal with all of this, right? It's definitely a hard business, but it's a lucrative business. And once you crack the code and get it dialed in, it becomes a system, right? It becomes something that you can sit back and tweak and monitor and make improvements on. It changes the way you see it. And when you start to look at it and say, you know what, this might not be the most glamorous business, right? I might have not have grown up as a kid and said, I want to be a mover, or I want to own a moving company. So what? It's your vehicle to financial freedom. Because if you're in the business right now and it's struggling, I got news for you. You're going to go into another business and you're probably going to struggle in that business as well. Once you understand the principles of how to run a moving company, I believe at that point you could go run any business, because I think it gives you enough, I know it gives you enough experience with different types of people, with sales, with marketing, with operations, with customer service, with accounting. Like, you get the broad sense of how to succeed in any business once you know how to succeed in moving. But it's not moving that's broken, it just might be the approach, right? And if your approach is wrong, it's not your fault. There was no school for this. You know, my first few years, I mean, I hitting my head against the wall, stressed out, ulcers in my stomach, like crying, not knowing, like, what am I doing? Why is this not working? And the reality is, I knew that I was going to find a better way. And I was focused on moving being the vehicle to my financial freedom, right? To whatever you want to do in your life, whatever you want to buy, purchase, invest in, other businesses you want to start. You know, your parents, if you want to retire them and make to where they don't have to work anymore, which I've been fortunate enough to be able to do that for my mother, right? And your kids, your legacy, right? To be able to build a financial wall around you and your family that nothing can get through. It's possible. But when you've been hitting your head against the wall for so long, you start to feel that self-doubt, right? You start to feel, you know, can I make this? Is it me? Is it the business? Is it my team? And I want to help you get out of that, because it's not you. Right? If you're listening to this, if you're still listening to me, you're starting to see a different perspective than maybe you have before, right? So the perspective is to start. There's a better way. This is my vehicle to financial freedom. If they can, I can. I'm responsible for my results, right? And now you just need the strategy and the processes and the tools, which I'm going to give you at Moving Mastery Summit, right? But if you're starting to see that, I want you to really, right now, I want you to feel a sense of, I want you to look forward to what your business and life can be and will be, right? And forget about the past. Forget about the hardship. Use it as fuel to say, I'm not going back there. I'm done with that, right? I've tried it the hard way. I'm ready to go on the smooth path. And the last point here, the things that all the top 1% of moving company owners believe, is that when I improve, my business improves. And what that means is, you are your business. Your business is you. So in order for your business to improve, you've got to get better. You've got to develop the skill sets that are required to be a moving CEO in this modern moving game, right? You've got to understand how this business really works. And I don't say that talking down or better than. I say it from a place of, you know, really years of thinking that I knew how it worked, to year after year peeling back more layers and more layers to finally like, oh, I get it, right? This is how this business works. But in order for this business to work, I need to understand what my roles are, right? The skills that I need to be the leader that I need to be the business operator I need to be the CEO that I need to be. Those are all skills. That's skill development. And when you get better, your business gets better, right? I believe this wholeheartedly. I'm always going to seminars, taking courses, reading books. And it's because I want to improve. Because when I improve, business gets easier. And when you could run your business and it's easier and makes more money, that's what Profit and Thrive is all about. Profit in your business, thrive in your life, go enjoy yourself. This isn't about the drudgery, right, of the day-to-day and feeling like it's something you can't escape from. I'm telling you, there's an easier way. There's a better way. I'm going to lay it out for you. Your invitation's right there. We're about to sell out very soon, so if you hit the button and it's already sold out, I apologize. Hopefully this video served you, but there is a button below for Moving Mastery Summit. Come and join us for 3 days, right? It's not just what you're going to learn, it's also the community and the people that you're going to be around. You know, they say that you become the average of the 5 people that you're around. Come put yourself in a room of 400 plus high-performing moving company owners who think and perform on a higher level, and I promise you, you're going to feel inspired to step your game up, and then you're going to have the plan to do it. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. I will see you at Moving Mastery Summit, my friend, October 18th, 19th, and 20th, Scottsdale, Arizona. I'll see you there.